Welcome to our series of More Than a Minute lessons. I'm Holly Green, and I'll be sharing with you tips, techniques, and approaches to successfully leading and managing in today's chaotic environment. Check back often for the latest content. And if you have a question or a topic you want me to address, just let us know. Are you making stuff up? Remember all that stuff we absolutely knew to be fact as children, but later on discovered wasn't quite so true? Things like, a monster lives under my bed. When I grow up, I'm going to be a movie star. If I wish upon a star, all my dreams will come true. Well, guess what? We get even better at making stuff up, or MSU, as adults. We still make stuff up all the time, only now we do it in our businesses. Pause and consider how many things you know to be fact about your colleagues, your customers, your competitors, your boss. Uh-oh, maybe they're not as accurate as you think they are. Making stuff up occurs when we listen to the thought bubbles inside our heads that tell us the world must be a certain way. When we fill in the voids of information with our own interpretation or beliefs. We get into trouble when we make decisions or take action without testing to see whether these assumptions underlying our thought bubbles are actually true. Or when we forget to pause every now and then to question the thought bubbles that we've had for a while. As leaders and managers, we make stuff up based on our deep-seated beliefs and assumptions about our customers, our competitors, our markets, and the business world in general. In a stable world, it's not too much of a problem. But in a world where constant change represents the norm, making stuff up can wreak havoc on your company. Now, thought bubbles come in all shapes and sizes, and they contain all sorts of half-truths and misinformation. See if any of these sound familiar to you. If we create a plan, everything will work out just fine. Oh, we tried that once before, it'll never work. Good idea, but it'll cost too much. We can't raise prices, the customer will never go for that. Nobody in our industry does it that way. I know what our customers want, it's obvious. We'll never become a commodity, we're different from everyone else. Now, these may sound like harmless phrases that unfortunately some of us have said from time to time, but in reality they represent deep-seated beliefs that unconsciously shape the thinking of everyone in your organization. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. I could share dozens of similar thought bubbles I hear all the time. The problem is not that we have these automatic assumptions and beliefs. It's that we rarely pause to examine them, to check them, and see if they're still true. As a result, we end up making critical business decisions based on information that may or may not be true any longer. So how do we stop letting the stuff we make up get in our way? Begin to make your thinking process as transparent as possible. During meetings and strategy sessions, put everyone's beliefs and assumptions out on the table and challenge them. Ask questions like, what are we absolutely positively sure is true about our customers, competitors, and markets? How do we know that these things are true? Could they have been true at some point, but everything changed in the world? What are the things we are assuming and taking for granted that nobody's talking about? Once you become aware of your assumptions, question them, because they're locked in the past, and those darn adult humans tend to be more negative than positive in their thinking process. So most of our assumptions relate to what we can't do rather than what we can do. Instead of saying, you can't do that or that will never work, try asking, what if our assumptions need to be updated? What if we did it this way? If we were building this business from scratch, what would we do differently to better serve our customers? What if we are wrong? Our customers have a different view. The question for business leaders today is not, are we making stuff up? It's, what are we making up and how is it getting in the way of our continued success? Is it holding us back or propelling us forward? Answering these questions will begin to help you understand the stuff getting made up in your organization and start to remove many of the barriers that get in the way of your continued success.